Figured I'd get you a little evening shot. Sun against the trees over there. Clouds, but they say there's not going to be any rain. Moon's hiding up there. I just rotated that around a quarter turn. There's thin spots just because it can't hit where it's sitting, right? And this down here could use a good stiff watering. We ran a little one across here, but you know, it doesn't make it too far down the edge over here, and doesn't put near as much water on since we just literally soaked around the corner and those trees all the way down. May as well do it to this. And it was easy to do. I'm out here in my pajamas, so no flip-flops. Got my slip-ons and cut-offs. It's comfortable out here this afternoon or this evening. Well, it's almost 20 minutes to 9, so this evening. And tip it. See, there we go. There's your sunset. What I can see of it anyway. Yeah, we sit in a hole. What can we say? Oh, I figured. I brought that tractor up this afternoon after we got back because I really didn't want to go start stacking bales, and I'd have still been there if I'd had the truck. So figured I'd walk out here, grab my little Mossberg 410 and see if I'd find any critters working. See where they are. You know, 2 spots where I did shoot them. There's others back in there. And, oh, you missed them. No. I generally don't miss, especially with a shotgun. The holes are different. They push them out different. Pay attention to gophers, the way they push their dirt out. They pretty much all do it the same way. Well, they each do it their own way, I should say. And it's a little different. Instead of being one-sided, both the new ones down there push it around about 3/4 of the hole. And right here at the bottom of the hill in the lane, there's one I've been watching. He stuck his nose up, so I got him. Get you some cows, because God knows I might not get them in the morning. Come on, I know they're there. I can see them. There we go. And I rode that field this morning, and I didn't see any active mole or gopher digs. It really surprised me. Seen a couple spots where they've been stomped, and there's no new life. So I figure, hey, I'm good with the cows getting some. I just wish they'd be able to get the moles too. I'm not sure. Really don't see where they get any moles, but you can tell where they get gophers. And if you can see how rough this is, this has had gophers in it before. This has been smoothed up before. I actually took the loader with the forks on and skinned the high spots off in here about 10 years ago. But all those low spots and high spots are from the gophers. The high spots are partially the humps that they've made, and the low spots are partially where their runs have caved in, or wherever their nest was caved in. But hey, that's 4 minutes and 20 seconds of my Friday night. I'm gonna walk my way around. I gotta go to the bridge to cross because there's nowhere here to cross. Turn the pump on. Hopefully I can tell if everything's moving right from down below. Really should bring a pair of binoculars with me, then I could see, right? Either that or put a scope on the shotgun. So, and I wanted to come down this way because there's been a mole working right over here. But the bull's also been over here a lot. I kind of expected to see a little fresh diggings, but that one there's the freshest, and I think that was this morning. Okay. Maybe they finally stomped the little bugger. I don't know. Anyway, we'll show you what happens tomorrow. I couldn't leave you without showing this bunch of cows, right? She was just walking over to me. Mama over there loving on her calf. Curious George standing there looking at us. And the rest of them. I come over. I can kind of hear the workings moving on that thing, but I stood here and watched and made sure it was turning. And I really should have brought you on a little sooner, because the air, with where that's at, there's a lot of main line back. A lot drained out while I was moving it, so there's a lot of air in it. It sounds like you're sitting downwind from the gun club on competition night. But it just quit. So yeah, look, she wanted to be friendly and now she wants to run away. Jeez. Oh well. There's you some more anyway. And yeah, still a little bit of a sunset left. Not for long. And those are bugs, by the way, that you see. So I'm going to get out of here. Probably dark by the time I get up there. A little different this year. I didn't go over to the wall when I came up because it ends up half a set off and pain in the ass. And that's all that's going in. At least all that's going in this barn for hay. It's in here. And old X-Lax there. Grace Slick, whatever you want to call her today. She spent the last half hour sitting over by the shop trying to get herself recomposed. She put the loader there to pick up broken bale. I really wish I would have got it on video.
I'm just glad you're out there to see me.
Arms did not work worth a damn for wings.
No, they don't.
I'm not quite sure where she stepped from.
I stepped onto the edge.
She says she stepped onto the edge of the bucket. But,
I did, and I was
but what I saw was one foot in the air, the other foot in front of her in the air, and well, her one foot hit here, and this stuff's so frickin' dry, it's just like stepping on ice.
No, Dad, I literally...
So, off her foot went.
No, I fell off.
And she went down right there with the broken
bale. I fell off
bale
up here.
She says she fell off, but what I saw, she cleared the top of that bucket.
No, I had one foot right here.
That's what she thinks.
No, I did. I had one foot right there, and I went to grab up there like I always do to come down.
She went to grab there. Well, you got to turn around to grab up there, and she wasn't turned around. And anything about this bucket, this is an old John Deere bucket. It has steps on it, so when it's down flat like that, you can step down without killing yourself.
Shut up. I'm still short. I still have to step down on there.
So I shoved that bale over there because I had to move stuff after she fell. But
I scraped my belly up really good too.
She did her arm, did her knee.
My good knee out of all goddamn
her good knee. And I told her I ain't picking those last two bales up. So she's got to get that broken one all in that bucket and in a feeder for the cows. And then these two, they'll get cut out there and dumped in the feeder. But anyway, that's the end of the small bales until we cut up here that I'm irrigating. And I never did get the irrigation going this morning. It was late getting across, so I came in and did this instead. Quite honestly, been probably the longest putting hay in the barn ever. When all we did was small bales. The guy that worked for us usually run bale wagon. Even when we were doing round bales and big bales, and we still did smalls. At one point in time when it was pretty much all small bales, we were stacked off the backstop here, 2 stacks wide, up to the shop door, the walk-in door. And actually, I cheated it one year. We started out 2 stacks wide, and I fudged it, and we braced it, and I was 3 stacks wide for part of it. But way up the driveway up there where the shadow was cutting across, we've had it stacked clear up beyond that shadow. Just enough room to get the bale wagon around the stack to get in to turn around. And then I'd end up on this thing. And even here at home where, you know, you're quarter mile across the yard to get out there, I could get a wagon load in the barn in the time that it took him to go out and pick up a load. And he didn't screw around picking up either. Once in a while, he might have to wait for me to pick one set up. And once in a while, I'd be done before he got back. But I'm wandering you around this way just to show you the rest of the stack. I don't like it. It's not my best work. That's what happens when you're dealing in sets of 10 and they're not square. And this is actually looks better than I thought. Dad found out one year when I wasn't working here, I was logging. I got a phone call and was asked if I could come help. So we spent 6 hours after I got out of the woods, and we picked hay up from out there. We picked hay up from down there. We picked hay up from here, and we got it out of here as best we could. And then there was 2x6s in here bracing the hay up, because when you set it in here, you don't want that leaning this way at all. And I've lost stacks from it too. I get it to lean that way. And if you're expecting more bale wagon loads to come in, and you have a stack that, we'll say the bottom is where the bottom of it is there, that bale sticking out at me. And let's do a straight line straight up. That lines up with about the center of that bale facing this way. I had it at least a foot more lean, and baler broke down. I didn't know it. I needed one full load to get up against that. I didn't. It fell. It made a hell of a mess. But I always lean them back because everything coming in, we're on a hill. Everything coming in is leaning on it. And like I said, I am pretty happy with the way this looks up here, because the top stack is leaning back good. I am holding the camera level, and it's leaning back pretty good. That's what I want. And yeah, from right there up, those are the real soft bales. That's that very last partial load. And from there down, that's what come off the neighbors. Those were good bales. The other iffy load, soft bales, is actually the whole front, most of the front, because I had to get them before I get to the good ones. Biggest thing is that it doesn't fall, and dogs, cats, rats, whatever, they get to go all the way through. Usually the way this works out, at the end of that bale is the edge of our opening. I end up having to hand stack and screw around in here to keep something under it, and it's always an issue, so hell with it. Anything we got to put up, we can put up with a loader, because it's just going to go from right here to right there. And that's the rest of last year's. That's pretty good looking hay. Now the rest of last year's that was in this barn anyway. And that's enough gabbing. Between now and you've got 2 clips I did last night. And we're just about ready to call it a day. We're supposed to get a couple ton delivered to a neighbor today, but you know, old Gumby there had to smash her knee up and her arm. And she says she has a friend that's going to come help tomorrow. So I'll let them do that. And for right now, that's where that thing's going to sit. It's out of the way. Don't think that thing's going to be rolling out of here. And if it does, yeah, it'll clear. If it does, I'll be surprised. Accepting donations. Somebody want to give me 8 20.8 tires that are in decent shape with rims. I believe these are a 16 bolt to go on. Inners and outers would be awesome. And then I wouldn't have to worry about these junkers, especially the one back there with the big zippered hole in it. Okay, God, that's more than enough video. You don't want to hear me talk anymore. As you look around the mess in here, And all that's got to go somewhere because we got to put straw up one way or another. Preferably in small bales because they're easier to handle, but I really don't care. We ended up all big bales last 2 years, so that's actually, this stuff I'm walking on is like 4-year-old grass seed straw that we were going to feed, but it got rained on like 2 or 3 times and they didn't want to eat it. There's a better look at it. That would be orchard grass straw, by the way. And part of the fields that came off of, the guy ripped up this year. Been in for over 25 years. He'd been talking about it, but the price was still up and it was still producing enough. So anyway, thank you all for watching. She's over there texting me. She's sitting in a loader texting me. Well, she's already sitting in a loader. I guess that means I get to go open gates.